Yeah, you mentioned confidence, and I have a story. When I was 13, 14, I used to play tennis at a club. We practiced there, and it was a big group. And once they split it, and the group A was for the good ones, and group B for the not so good ones. And I was supposed to
Mm.
go to group A, and I went to group B, and I was upset.
Supposed to.
Yeah,
Yep.
supposed to, but it was a good thing, because I was the best in Group B, and the coach gave me all the attention. And after 6 months, I started beating all the A groups, and that built my confidence. What are the tools you have for elevating the confidence? And in teenagers, it's important. It's the main thing. As a pro, also, the
Mm.
confidence is like everything.
Yeah. To build confidence in teenagers, my goodness, creating spaces where they have the opportunity to fail every day, and honestly creating that opportunity deliberately for them, and just saying, okay, like, what's the definition of success look like today? Making it less about outcomes and more about processes, right? Like, really defining what success looks like with them, and saying, okay, like, in all honesty, I don't care about your results. I don't care about your times or your placements. I care about how many times you reach the edge of risk and you fall. Because I want you to, like literally finding that opportunity of, I want you to fail. I want you to fail, and I want you to fail forward. Because the more times you can fail, you can find more opportunities in that space. So you're now playing at an elite level, at the edge of capacity, rather than in a place of safety. And helping them understand that that's what right looks like. Like, right doesn't look like winning. Right looks like competing, because that allows them to then move through the ranks if needed, right? So there's that piece. You have this piece of preparation, and that's a big part of the preparation, is creating atmospheres where they're getting the opportunity to fail hard. And allowing themselves to go through those experiences and learn from them, and realize that failure isn't the bad thing, right? It's not progressing. That's the bad thing. So that's very much a mental shift, a definition of success per se, right? But preparation as a whole, pre-performance routines, walking them through understanding how to get into their ready space, what ready means to them, and how to get there before every competition that they play, or are engaged in, right? Like, those are big, big pieces, and something especially with teenagers that I honestly don't think they do a good enough job at, right? Like, preparation as a whole, the problem with the teenage athletes at this point is that coaches are honestly trying to do it for them, like running them through these drills, these warm-ups, all of this stuff prior to competition, and not allowing enough autonomy for the athlete to be able to create that readiness for themselves, right? Because some athletes need to be jacked up and ramped up and hyped up and excited and rah, rah, rah. Like, some athletes need to be like separated from everybody and chill and like relaxed and super calm and not thinking about the game, right? It's totally independent of the athlete. So I ask all the athletes I work with to separate their readiness from their coaches and their team's typical routines, and help them create their own individualistic routines that are theirs, that get them into their ready space when they need to be ready, right? And so I think just by doing a couple of things, creating those opportunities to fail, changing, what the definition of success looks like for them, celebrating when they actually succeed in that definition, and helping them have some autonomy around developing their own pre-performance routines and priming routines. Those three things are three that are out there. Now, does that mean that that's the only? Absolutely not. There's hundreds of ways to develop confidence in children. Those are just three that come to mind right now.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of things, failing forward, and I listened to that in a Denzel Washington speech, and I love that, failing forward, not having a plan B, and the readiness. It's key for parents, because I'm guilty about it. I prepared all the stuff for my kids when they were young, not to not to forget the water, not to forget this thing, and you are turning not an athlete. You are training another sort of person, So it's
A
important
human.
to give
You're training a human.
yeah, but we parents think that we have a racing star that he or she doesn't have to carry their bag. Many parents do that.
That's crap. Let them make them carry it. It's their. Okay, and I gotta say this. This is one of the things that bugs me about. Like, I get that you want to like, as parents, and number one, I will say this. Good job on doing a very hard thing. Parents, you're doing a very hard thing, period. I want to acknowledge that right now. I am so proud of any person who is willing to be a parent, because it is hard. And so all of the positive intent behind my statements right now, I want you to know that. And your kids' sporting experience is their responsibility. And it's when you take away that responsibility and you put it on yourself as the parent, when they now have an out, right? Like, they can't take full responsibility of their success and failure if you're doing things for them, right? So it's normal and it's understandable that you want to do everything you can to help. And we are really, really, really good at ages 1, or I should say 0 and 10 or so, right? Where our main duty is to help them not hurt themselves. Like, that is our goal, is to make sure that they are safe and that, they are fed, and like, that is our mission. And we get really good at it as parents. It is a different world after 10, after puberty specifically. You hit after puberty, and it's like the definition of parenting is now the complete opposite of what you've been doing for the last 10 years. And you've already gotten really good at 0 to 10. And so as parents, we have to be as agile, as dynamic, as willing to change as we are asking of our athletes. And I struggle with this because I think parents, I mean, heck, we're adults, and it's way freaking harder to be willing and to change as adults, right? And so I just want to put some emphasis behind this opportunity for all parents. Understand that if you're trying to help them change, if you're trying to help them be the best that they can possibly be, you have to do the same thing as a parent. You have to be willing to change the way that you parent them, right? In order to enable them to be the best athlete that they can be, to be the best human that they can possibly be, right? And it comes back to responsibility. Let them take on the responsibility of their success and failure in their sport so they can own whatever successes they create and whatever failures they accomplish, right? Because those are all experiences that create that confidence that they need, that create that preparation for the next steps in their life.
Yeah, you mentioned a couple of key things, that the kids have to own the thing, and the parents have to shift the model. In my experience, when my kid quit tennis, I realized that I have to shift the model. I didn't realize by myself. There was an external source that hit me and say, okay, I have to change. So it's better for parents to change internally and not to change from an external source, as you said.